8. All right. List is a data type from the name, a list, like a list of items, a list of groceries you want to buy, a list of courses, and so on. Now, what makes lists quite special, first of all, this is how you indicate a list in Python. And the list's elements are separated by commas. And here you can have basically anything. You can have a number, you can have a string, here the same thing. And so you can even have a list. So you can have a list inside a list. So for example, you have a list of like these elements. Hello, 5, 6.1, 6.5, and so on. And you can create a variable called A equals this list. And when you go to the variable explorer in Spider, you will see the data type is list and the length is 3. It's the length of 3 elements. All right, so let's read more about lists. Then we'll open Spider and check. So construct, the objective of this lecture is to construct a list and do some manipulations to it. So access items, use methods to manipulate lists. And the last one is to perform traversals of list to process items in the list. For example, traversal means that you run a loop that will do something for each list element here. So it allows the programmer to manipulate a sequence of data values of any types. That's, to me, it's one of the advantages of list. It provides powerful ways to organize data in useful and interesting applications. Here are some examples of lists. The list basically is a sequence of data values. We call them items or elements. So we'll stick with elements here. Like, for example, the shopping list, to-do list, the roster of an athletic team, and so on. Now, each list item has an index. So if you go back to this slide here, so this one is index number 0, index number 1, index number 2, pretty much like strings. Like, remember the strings, each character has an index. Lists, each element has an index starting from 0. Okay, and the length, well, the index ranges from 0 to the length -1, exactly like strings. Okay, what is the index of the last element? So for example, a list of -1 will return the element of the last element in the list. Always -1 is about the last element, which is a shortcut of instead of writing length or length of list or a list -1. So we just eliminate this one and we keep the last one. All right, so here is an example for lists. For example, this is a list of fruits, apples, oranges, cherries, lists of different elements. So we have the character A, character X, the number 3, the number 5, 3.6, high. This is also a valid list. The length will be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6 elements. Notice here that's a list of 2 lists. So the length of this list, this whole thing, it's 2. The first element is this list, 5.9. The second element is 54178. Now, doing this is not mandatory. Again, it all depends on the application. Let's say, for example, you worked on some certain project required that you have lists within the list, then that's your way of doing it. So when an element is an expression, its value is included in the list. For example, here, import math, x equal 2, basically says that elements of a list doesn't have to be like a fixed value. You can have it as an expression, and the value returned by that expression will be the value of that element. So here we imported the math module, and we set x equals to 2. Then the list contents is x and the square root of x. X is 2, the square root of 2 is 1.4, and so on and so on. All right, so when you say x plus 1, x, the value is 2, plus 1, it's 3. And since I put these parentheses or the square brackets, it means that I created a list of one value, which is the 3. it's different from x plus 1. X plus 1 will return 3, but that's an integer value. But if you put x plus 1 like this, that's a different story. You created a list, and the contents of that list is the result of adding x to 1. Another way of creating a list, for example, if you have it like in a sequence manner, remember the command range. So, for example, when you say range 1 to 5, we said this is going to return 1, 2, 3, 4. But when we checked that in Spider, we couldn't see the elements. We just see a data type called range, and the name is whatever. How to access the contents of that list or of that range? You put list of range 1, 5, then that will return a list of the elements of this range, which is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. In fact, let's give it a try. I'll discard these changes. Open Spider. So for example, I'll create a list called a list, any name equals, start with square brackets. Okay, hello. Hi. Hola. What other languages you have here? Hello, hi, aloha. You know what aloha is? In Hawaii. Hawaii. What other language? Hola. Hola, we did it. Bonjour, bonjour. 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 B-O-N-J-O-U-R. B-O-N-J-O-U-R. That's enough. And let's call it, that's enough. Greetings. So that's a list of greetings in different languages. Hi and hello, they are the same. So let's execute this line. And you see that the name is greetings. The data type is a list. And notice that the length or the size is 5. And also you can confirm by typing len greetings. Let me see. Len is the length. Remember we did that for which one? The strings? The strings, yeah, we did the length for the strings. So the length for greetings, len is the command to check the length of a list. So length greetings equal 5, which is the size that we got here. Now how to access each element? For example, I will say greetings of 3 or 2. So if you check here, 0, 1, 2. So should return the word hello. Hola, hola, sorry. That is hola. 0, 1, 2. Greetings of 0, that's the first element. Hello. -1, that is the last element. Bonjour. So this is how you access the last element. To confirm also, the last element is basically the length of greetings. What is it? I want to access the first element 0. Yeah, first element is 0. This is the same thing, length of greetings -1, which is technically -1, which is the last element, bonjour. Okay, so that is the list of same data types. Another list, I'll do the same example that we see in the slides before. So a list equal, I'll start with a character, then a number, then a float, then a string. Hello, then a list. 1, 2, 3, 4, and I close that list. So if you check here, I have a list of different items. So I have the first one. Let's execute it first. So it has 5. The length is 5. The elements are, the first element is the letter A. Second element is the number 5. Third element is 3.5. Third element is index number 2. Fourth element, index number 3. Hello. The last element it's index number 4, which is also a list. So let's confirm a list of -1, which is the last element. It is a list. Okay. If you want to access an element within the inside, like with this inside element, so if I want to access the first element, or sorry, the first element is index number 0, it will go this way. This is not, you don't have to worry about this. So I will not evaluate you in the exam about this, but this is to show you that I can access an element in a list inside another list. So the first one, a list -1, will return this small list here, 1, 2, 3, 4. Now, if I add also like an index 0, it will access the first element of the value returned from here, which is going to be the value of 1. It is 1. Last element, the value is 4. Second element, the value is 2, and so on. Again, you don't have to worry about this. Let's worry about just working with lists.
What if you write print a list?
All right, print a list. It will display the list as it is. Huh?
It will print the whole thing.
Yeah, the list itself with the brackets. A list, same thing. They both produce the same answer. Okay, so what was the thing we needed to do here? All right, so let's do the range thing. We didn't do that yet. Okay, x equal range 1 to 5. And when we execute that, so x is the variable name, data type is range, and the length is 4. However, if you display here x, it will show you range 1 to 5, but I cannot see the actual elements there. How to do that? List of x. It will return these elements. So this is how you access the actual elements within the range command. Range command will return a data type called range. And if you want to access the elements, okay, go to the range and count index start. Okay, let's see where step. So those are objects in the list. But what are, like, I'm looking for the variable that has these values. It seems it's not straightforward to do that. So there is nothing in the actual string or actual range that will display the elements individually. So the best way is to do it within the list command. Okay. Another thing with the usage of a list is, for example, I have a string and I want to take each character by itself. For example, here, name equal Muhammad. And let's do that. And if you put list name, it will go to the variable name that has the content Muhammad and separate each character. It will be an element of a new list. So the length is 8. It will create a new list, and the contents of that list, each element is one character of that name. And also you can store it list, and like you can pick any variable name here, list name equal list. And here you have list name, which is exactly the same contents of name. However, one of them is a string, the other one is a list. Both have the same length. The string is just a readable text, Muhammad. The list name is basically the same characters, but each character takes a location in that list. Okay, let's see. We've done this, we've done that. Okay, so these are some operators we deal with lists. For example, the length, we've done that. These are the square brackets, basically how to access certain elements of a list. This one, the plus, you can do it for concatenation. Like you can add a list to another list. You remember concatenation strings, exactly like here in lists. And we have the equality sign to check, are they equal or not? So you can evaluate whether two lists are the same. So let's do an example here. I'm going to follow the same example. Okay, so we've done the length already. We've done the indexing. The slicing. pretty much like the strings. First 2, 4. So we'll do here. So slicing, basically, I'm going to access elements for a certain range of indexes. For example, I have greetings, and I want to access 2 to 4. What will it return? So this is the greetings, 0, 1, 2. All right, so that's 2, 3, 4. Will it return the whole thing? Hola, aloha, bonjour. Or it will skip the last element? I'll say it will skip the last element. 2 to 4 means 2 and 3 only. That's exactly like what we did in strings. You will never reach the last element. You see the point here? Why you see this is the first time you've seen this? You've done that in strings. You don't reach the last number. So I have greetings 2 to 3. It means that I'm going 2 and 3. And not just in strings. We've done that. That's the range. Basically 2 to 4, that's 2, 3 in range. And if you don't believe me, let's do that here. List range 2 and 4. 2 and 4. 2 and 3. So you don't reach the 4. That's the slicing. You don't reach that last element. If you want to go from the beginning to the third element, what's the way to do it? Greetings. What is the first element? 0. What is the third element? How to access it? Okay, I will not reach the fourth element. I will reach the third, so I'll put 4. Third element, index number 3, to be accurate. Index number 3, it means that I have to put 4. If it's index number 2, I'll have to put 3, because I will not reach 3, I will reach 2. Also, this 0, is it mandatory or optional? Optional, so you do it this way. So this means greeting nothing to 3 means from the beginning to index number 3 minus 1. So 0, 1, 2. And in this case, it will return hello, hi, hola. Hello, hi, and hola, to be accurate. Similarly, if I want to reach the last element from the second, so greetings. From the second to the, what is the last element? Yeah, but how to reach that? What value I need to put there? Minus 1? I don't think it will work. Well, it did, but it did not reach the last element. It did hola and aloha. Remember, if I want to reach the last element, keep it blank, keep it empty. Keep it empty will take you to the last element. Like the starting, if I want to, let's say, from the start, I don't have to put the 0, I keep it blank. If I want till the end, I will not put a value till the end, I'll keep it blank. Okay. Let's see what else there in the slice. So we did the slicing from 2 minus 1. Concatenation. Okay, so someone said he knows hello in Russian. How to write that? Plus, how to say hello in Russian, Abdullah? No Google Translate. Abdullah طلع. Okay. What other language you know hello on? Turkish, يلا. مرحبا. Okay. مرحبا. Okay, let's see. Will it work? Can only concatenate list, not string. So it should be another list. There you go. So you add a list to a list. It did work. Now, but did I change the contents of greetings? No. Greetings remains the same. So how to do that? Greetings equal plus equal. Remember this operator plus equal? Greetings equal greetings plus marhaba. So it did the job here. Remember this operator plus equal? We did that where? Which lecture? The other one. while loop. In the while loop to increment the counter. So this is how you concatenate a list. Make sure it is a list. I did a mistake here. I did not, or I forgot to put the square brackets. So here I have a list. I have a string. That's a data type mismatch. It cannot do that. You can't concatenate a string to a string or a list to a list. Yes.
Two statements, plus, sorry.
All right. So the first one, when we did plus, I evaluate the expression. Did I store it somewhere?
Just add it.
No, I added to greetings and display it. Greetings, did I change anything to it? All right, let's go back to greetings. This is the original one. This is the content. See it? Hello, hi, hola, aloha, bonjour. When you evaluate it without the plus. Same problem. We'll do the list thing. All right, it did display it here. What about the content? Greetings remain the same. I did not modify it. I just displayed greetings plus marhaba.
Equal.
Change it variable.
I did not change the variables. How to do that?
Equal.
Plus equal. Plus equal then means greetings equal greetings plus marhaba. So it will evaluate greetings plus marhaba and store the new value in greetings. So I updated greetings.
So, plus, so just print it.
Plus will just display it for you. It will not store it anywhere. Unless I create a new variable called A equal greetings plus marhaba, it will create a new variable called A. The content of that variable is greetings plus marhaba. Okay, so this is a concatenation operator. Let's see what other commands. The equality. Let's see. For equality, basically check. Greetings.
You want to print it the plus. List. Should add double columns.
Add what?
Add double columns or?
Yeah, we do not do double columns here. Because I know all of you will do ChatGPT to find the answer. I ask students to do it in a loop to perform palindrome. You know what palindrome is? You'll see it in the project. Without this double columns thing. I want to see it in a for loop. Yes. Don't worry, I'm prepared. All right, greetings equal a list. Are they the same? It will return false. They are not the same. Greetings. Let's see. So let me create a new list. Greetings. A new equal greetings. Now we can do that. Greetings new equal greetings. Are they the same? True, they are the same. Because check this greetings new, that's greetings. They are exactly the same thing. So it is equal. Yeah, there is a command called copy. We'll do that because there is something called structural identity and another identity. Basically here, greetings new and greetings are the same list. Let me modify one thing in greetings and see the effect in greetings new. So for example, greetings, greetings of 0 equal, and that's something about lists.
So as
Greetings of 0, let's call it salam. No, I'm assigning, I'm not checking equality. Here, just pay attention to the variables, greetings and greetings new. I want to modify the first element in greetings. Greetings 0 equals salam. What happened to greetings new? It also changed. It also changed. So basically, if I want to draw it, something like this. So this is my list that has the elements. And this is the name, greetings. and this is greetings new. Both names, they point to the same location in the memory. If I affect one of them, the other will be affected. And that's what's, let's say, someone need to be careful when we do the assignment operator. Your question was, I want to create a copy. This one seemed like we created a copy. We did not create a copy, we created a new alias. Alias means that's a new name. So that's greetings new. Both of them, they point to the same location in the memory. I did not create a copy of that. I created a new alias for the same location in the memory. We'll come into that later at the end of the lecture. Okay. So that's to print the content of a list. We've done that, print. If you want to examine that there is an element in my list, there's a command called n. Just simply checks if this something I'm looking for in that list, it will return true. Otherwise, it will return false. Okay, so we'll do that here to confirm it real quick. So for example, someone need to check is hi inside my greetings list. True or false? True. Run, it is true. Hi is within one, is within that. So there you go. And later also we will learn a technique to find the contents, or sorry, the index of that element. So for now, we knew that hi is within that list. But where is it? But from the name index, there is a command called index. So to show you an example, greetings. Okay, dot index hi. Okay, it return index number 1. This is how you find the index of a certain value you are looking for. To confirm 0, 1. We'll come into this in a few minutes. Okay, slideshow. Got a slide. Okay, so are we familiar with n? This n operator, just to check if there is, if like this element is within this list. If yes, it will return true. If no, it will return false. How to replace an element? I just did that in a few minutes when we replaced hello with marhab with salam. And that's what we call mutation. List is a mutable data type. Mutable means that I can do changes to it, to its contents, to its length, to its values, everything is changeable. List is not a fixed variable. Now, someone might ask, there are some variables that are fixed? Yes, that's tuples. Tuples are always fixed. Someone might ask, what is the reason to use tuples? Typical example, you took a dimensions of image and you are using it somewhere in the code. To make sure that these values do not change, you store them in a tuple data type. Also, you define a certain constant in your code, like the gravitational force constant. You know what that value? 9.8, if you have done physics back in the day, 9.8. So you define somewhere in your code, G equal 9.8 meter per second square, for example. Okay, so you define in your code G equals 9.8, and somewhere in your code that there was an operation G equals 30. What will happen there? It will ruin this one for you. But when you say G equal 9.8, that's how you define tuples, then this one will not work. It will give you an error that you are trying to change the contents of a tuple, and that will cause an issue. Okay. Let's see. So subscripts, we have seen that you start from 0 to n minus 1, where n is the length. And lists, you can insert elements, you can remove elements, and you can replace. So we've done inserting by just creating a new list. Removing, there's a command to do that called pop, and you can replace. Replace is the easier one. Once you know the index, greetings of a certain index equal the new value, and that's it. The list itself maintains its identity, means that it remains a list with the same name, list with the name, but its state means the values and the length will change. So the length and contents will change. So here's an example. You have a list called example with values 1, 2, 3, 4. This is the index 0, index 1, index 2, index 3. And when you print example, this will be displayed. Example of 3 equals 0. So you will go to this list, you look for index 3, you replace 4 by 0. So when you print example equal 1, 2, 3, and 0. Replacing was easy. So subscript is used to reference the target index of the assignment, which is not the list, but the element's position within the list. Yeah, once you have the subscript, you do not target the whole list, you are targeting elements in that list. Okay, shows how to replace the list with its square. So here is an example. You created the list 2, 3, 4, 5, and then you replaced each element with its square. So let's see how to do that. I'll do that in Spider. Let's delete everything. So I have a list equal 1, 2, 3, 4. And now I want to replace each element with its square. So the result should be A equal 1, 4, 9, and 16. So how to do that? Loop. While will a 4? Why 4?
Easy.
Because I know the number of elements. I have the number of elements 4. If it's a while, a conditional loop, then that's a different story. But this one, it's for a finite number. So 4. What and what?
A,
Hmm?
A,
K?
A.
A? No, A is my list. Usually with 4, I will put the counter variable. So for IDX, I want to do with indexes.
And A,
Will element for element N A. Okay, then
Formula.
let's do it with indexes first for IDX because I know the indexes. And what? Range length of A. Now, what did that do?
Same,
Same what?
same as in A.
لا. In A, then I'm looping over 1, 2, 3, 4. In range of length A is how much? 4. Range of 4, 0, 1, 2, 3. So I'm looping over the indexes. So you can do loop over the elements or loop over the indexes. There are too many ways to solve it, but those are the common ways. All right. Okay, so let's assume 5, 10, 6. Those are my elements. Now, if you put 4, whatever the name here, N, for example, here, and I will do another 4 element N A. The difference between this one and that one, the variables for IDX will be what? 0, 1, 2, 3. Why? Because I'm doing range of length A. What is length A? Look here, it's 4. No, length A is 4. So 4, I in range 4. What will be the values of range 4? 0, 1, 2, 3, which are the indexes. This is index 0, index 1, index 2, index 3. This one here for element NA. Now I'm looping over the contents of A. I'm looping over 1, 5, 10, and 6. So they are not that straightforward. This one is the easier one. Basically, A of IDX equal what? A of IDX squared. That's it. Let's try. So, okay, let me remove everything. Execute for A. So what are the elements of A? 1, 5, 10, 6. If I want to square them all, you will get 1, 25, 136. So basically, I'm replacing the element of A by the element squared. So let's check. This will work. Hopefully it will. And it did. Now A is 1, 25, 136.
Square the
Yeah, I want to square the elements in the same list. I do not want to create a new list.
square 0, 1, 3.
لا.
Because it's index.
Index. I'm looping over the index. Now A of index.
What if you write it A of index قصة 2 بدون لا خط. This one the beginning.
This one?
Without this one, yeah.
Like this?
Yeah, without this.
It will not change the elements of X because I need to assign it to the A. I need to assign them. I want to assign them somewhere else. So I'll go back here. That's my list. And if I want to do that, it will execute it. Fine, but it will not replace it here. Basically, you just print A. What will happen is the first iteration, A of, no, it will not change A in all of them. A is fixed. Always A is the same. Why? Because I'm just evaluating the element squared. But I did not assign it anywhere else. I just evaluated. Like 1 squared, it's 1. What will happen there? That's it. 5 squares, 25. Did I assign it somewhere? So that's why we call it assignment operator. A of IDX equal this. And notice now how this list elements change. For the first iteration, 1 square is 1. Second iteration, 1, 25. Third iteration, 1, 25, 100. Last iteration, 1, 25, 100, 36. Like you see, at each iteration, I'm squaring the element by element. See that off?
لو طلعنا البرنت بره
It will be the last value.
21 list, right?
The last one. Like this. It will print the last list. You get it? Okay. How did the slide solve it? Same way I did it. I did not traverse the elements because it's not that straightforward. For element in A. No.
So I think we can copy it, right? So
A index element. A. I'm just trying a wild thing. A dot index element equal element square. Where is the error? Cannot assign a function call here. Okay, so it's not that easy. No. The only way to do it is this way.
how you want A of element equals A of element. Or this guy.
I just tried that now. It says that A of element. No, but see, the thing here should be an index. But I don't have the value for index. I'm traversing over the values 1, 5, 10, 6. I'm not traversing over the index. See, that's why we need to be careful about what are you looping over. Are you looping over the indexes or the values? So the first one, if you want to loop over the indexes, you have to do this. Because indexes will always start from 0, 1, 2, 3 till the length of the list. And that's how you traverse over the indexes. Now for the values, it's a bit difficult. It's not that straightforward. Okay, so let's go back on the current slide. So we've seen this. Okay. So for example, we started with this list. We called it A in my previous example, numbers 2, 3, 4, 5. So for index, usually I prefer IDX, same thing, same meaning. In range length numbers, this one will always return the indexes of whatever list you have. This is the list name. Range length numbers will always give you 0, 1, 2, 3, basically the indexes. And that's why for index. And that's how you do the update. In strings, if you remember, we did the split command. So we have split. If it was empty, the splitting criteria would be the space. If there is something, the splitting criteria will be based on like that criteria, if it's a dot or not. And remember, it returned a list. So for example, this example has 5 words. When we said words equals sentence dot split, so split this sentence based on spaces. So I have the first element. This example has 5 words, and that's what we have it here. And the example was like the average of characters per word. If you remember 2 weeks, 3 weeks ago, when we did strings, the average number of characters per word. So this one is a different applications here that I want to find the uppercase of the, let's say the words in a list. For index and range length words, again, I'm traversing over the indices. So words index. So I'm going to access each index, each element by its index, words index, and that's what the command to convert the word into uppercase. Because basically words index will return a string. And here is your words. Words of 0, it's this, it's a string. Words of example, that's a list, string. Words dot 2 or square bracket 2, that's has. 3, 5, and that's words. And again, the value of words of the value of index here will be 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, because I have 5 elements, and the values will be from 0 to 4. Okay, so when we have that, you just convert into uppercase for each element. And you just replace each word with its uppercase version. Some common methods related to lists, and each one of them will have a certain purpose. So we have, let's assume you have a list called L, and you have L dot append. Now appending, you add an element. So you just add an element to the list. Where do you put it? At the end of the list. You just you have 1, 2, 3, 4, append 5, you put 5, append 6, append 100, you just put it at the end. There is another one called extend. Pretty much like the append, but append, I'm appending one element. Extend, I am adding a list, pretty much like concatenation. I'm adding a list to a list.
Variable ولا only display?
لا, you are modifying the list now. These are those operations, they modify the list itself. Okay, then insert. Insert, basically, you want to add a value to the list, but you don't want to be restricted to the last location. I want to select the location where I want to add the element, and you put L dot insert, and in this case, I have to put the index along with the value. Index has to be within the range of the available ones I have. I cannot say I don't have, let's assume I have a list of 5 elements. I cannot say the index is 100. It's out of range. Should be within this list. And then the number of elements will increase by 1 because I added 1 element. So insert element of an index, and the index is less than of the length of the L, otherwise inserts element to the end of the L. Okay, another one called pop. Pop, you just take out the last element. You just remove it. And all of these operations, they modify the list. Let's assume you want to remove an element from any other location, you put the index. So those are the same, but this one you select which location you want to remove. So let's go back to our greetings list, which I deleted, I believe. Control Z, 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 Z. Perfect. So let's remove everything. And here is my greetings. So let's assume I want to add an element to this list. I want to add salam at the end. So greetings dot append. That's when you want to add an element, append. And you put the content. Salam. And notice here, greetings. I added salam.
If I want to add it in the middle.
And that's where we do insert. So let's go back to execute greetings the way it was. And okay. So I'll start from here, greetings, insert. Now the syntax for insert, I have to select the index. Which index you want to put? 2. 2. Any arbitrary number between 1 and 5, 0 and 5. 2. And what value? Salam. So should be an index number 2, which is the third element. Let's hope no wrong. Okay. Hello, hi, salam. So 0, 1, 2. Initially the list was 5. Now the length is 6 because I added an element. I inserted an element. Let's try with an index higher than 4. 10. All right. So the default, if it's larger than with the range, it will put it at the last.
What without?
Without number, it will not work. You have to put it. It's mandatory.
So you can add 2 methods at the same time, like
2 elements.
like insert and extend.
Okay, see the thing. If you want to add 2 elements, there should be in a list, and you use extend.
Yeah.
Yeah, so like this. Okay, so let's go back to the original list. Greetings dot extend. Okay, so I will start with salam. And Ohio. Japanese. ما بلش. ni hao, Chinese. Ni hao. Whatever. Okay, I did a mistake. What is it? If you run it, it will give you an error. Yeah. Extend. What should be the contents of extend? Yeah, oh yeah, the brackets Y. Should be what? The lecture title, which should be a list. This should be a list. Then it worked. And you notice now the original list is the new list is 7. Why? Because I added 2 elements. Now someone by mistake will do the same thing, but what? Will do it without extend, will use append. What will happen? Before running, what can you give me a guess? If I put append, add what? These 2? Huh?
We'll add it both in one.
It will add them as a list because you can have a list within the list. So here, and you see now I have a list within the list. So they are both one element. So the length is 6. Why? I have my original 5 plus the last element, which is a list. That list, a whole list is an element, even though we have 2 things inside it, but to us, it's an element. You check your kind of, and the whole list is an element. In this case, the whole list is an element. We've seen that at the beginning. You can have a list within the list. It's a list.
So
Inside,
the list.
I have 5 strings and a list.
But this
Yeah, it's a list. It's an element. And that's why the size is 6, not 7. 6, 7. All right. Let's see. Oh gosh, this is recorded. This is gonna be fun. Okay. It's gonna be recorded, huh? All right, let's see. So we've done append, we've done extend, we've done insert. Now we need to check pop. I want to remove the last element. So greetings dot pop. And there are no parameters. So it basically remove the last element there.
Okay.
Pop, just take it out. It will return it, but take it out. Now someone might ask, can I store this value? Like I have it. Okay, like new greetings equal greetings.pop. Someone might ask, okay, I want to take these two variables, the last element of the list, and put in a new variable, greetings new. Now here is the fun part. It did work. New greetings equal greetings.pop.
But why? Why?
I did pop. Pop alone, it will take the last element. If I'm targeting a certain index, I have to put it. Okay, so that's the list. And I want to take 2. So it will take Ola. And since Ola is one element, it returns a string. Previously, the last one was a list, so it returned the list. Now, again, this all depends on the task you are working on. Like for me, in my codes, let me see what I used. scene mixer. لا وين هاي لا مش هون. I'll just show you an example of my code that where I use like here I'm running a deep learning model and I'm getting values and I want to certain these values in lists. So something like this. So I started with an empty list, evaluate, then where is the updates? No, not in this code. Where is that one? Let's see. Coding. Get LSTM. Okay, that's the folder. All right. So like this, I'm taking, okay, these values, I initiate empty lists. And then at each one of them, I do appending. Don't worry about this formatting stuff. And then I do some rounding, mean. So the purpose, I'm appending the values. I'm running the loop over 10 times. So each one of them will return a list of 10 elements. And I'm interested in finding the mean and variance or standard deviation for each list. So that's one of the usages of append, because I'm adding one element, not a whole list. So notice here, EA will be a list. Yeah, don't worry about it. But that's one of the applications of lists for appending. That's the most common list. Like I never did pop. I never did insert. I never did extend. Again, because my application says that. In your case, your application might be different. Let's say in the final project, you might need a different thing. Okay, there's a project. I will announce it in a few days, inshallah. Not next week, the week after. So it will be the 19th November. Okay, let's see. It's in YouTube. The revision is on YouTube. The recordings are on YouTube. Watch them. We'll do it after, inshallah. Okay, so those are the string methods that are, let's say, commonly used. Okay, duplicate. So we've seen insert text. We've done them all. We've seen examples on that. Insert, you have to put the index along with the value. So we've done the insertion thing. The method append expects just the new elements, huh? Yeah, we just removed the second element a few minutes ago. I'm taking the element. you can put it somewhere else.
Moving.
Okay. Kind of moving, yeah. If you do not assign it somewhere, it will just display it and that's it. It is gone. But if you can assign it to another variable. Now extend, you have to do the list thing. So I've shown you an example of both. Again, extend is pretty much like concatenation. Pop, remove an element at a given position. So the last one, and there's example here, pop 0, remove the first element. Now searching a list, sometimes you want to check if if the element is within that list and you want to know its location. That's the index. We've done that in a few minutes ago, but let's go over it again. So assume that you have a large list that has like a database. You have a large list of elements and you want to know the location of a certain element. So you run it over a loop. So for, sorry, not in a loop, you just do an if statement. And we've seen that like n something return true, false. So you can put it in an if statement. If the value in that list, so in this case, my target value is 45 and the list is 34, 45, 67. Now, if target in a list, if this target, if 45 is in this list, print what? The index of that value. So print a list.index of target. So basically the argument for index is the value. It will return the index of that value. Print -1 basically return to the user that like you did not find that value because you're looking for an index, right? Huh? And here -1. Okay, so let's run this example. So that's number 1. That's index number 1, which is the index of that variable in this and that's value in that list. So let's try 74. Is it within that list? No, it will be false. So it will go to the else part, print -1. So it will display -1. -1 to you will be an indicator that does not exist in this list. Or you can just write a string. Print the value you are looking for is not in this list. So you don't have to, let's say, stick the value you are looking for is not in the list. Okay, another time. There you go. The value you're looking for is not in the list. Let's see what else. So that's the N operator. If you don't do it let's say without the if statement, it will either return true or false. 75 in a list. If it exists there, it will return true. If it does not exist, it will return false. Sorting. The command to sort the list is example.sort. And this works, I believe, for only numbers because you're sorting them. No, it does sort text actually, text values based probably in their alphabetical order. We will try it now. A list element are always ordered by position, but you can impose a natural ordering on them based on their values. For example, alphabetical order. When the elements can be related by comparing, then they can be sorted. The method sort mutates a list by arranging its elements in ascending order. Now, what does that mean? You do not just display a sorted version of it. No, you are actually sorting the list. So it will not return a value. It will just sort the list. So let's see the example here. Let's go back to our sorting example. Greetings example. And let's see. Let me clear everything to have an empty variable set. And let's see. Greetings dot sort. Is that the command sort? Yeah. And enter. it did sort them based on their alphabetical order. So we have aloha, bonjour, hi and hello, they are the same. So it will look for the second character. The letter E is before I and hola was the last. Let's assume this. And I want to create a new list, greetings sorted equal greetings dot sort, something like this.
Greetings underscore sorted equals.
Like a new variable called greetings sorted equal the same greetings dot sorted. A new variable. I want to sort the list, right?
You will.
And I want to assign it to a new variable. But if you check here, greetings is sorted, right? What about greetings dot sorted underscore sorted is a non type. Basically, my operation here did not return a value. So I created a new variable that's nothing. It's non type, it's nothing. So that's one of the things you have to be aware of. When you do sorting, sorting does not return value. It will order the list itself. The letters, alphabetical order. A, B, C, D. And the first letter, if they are the same, we'll check the second letter, like the hi, hello, and hola. So it will return based on that. Assuming they are the same case, because lowercase has higher value than uppercase. Like here, A is larger than uppercase A. True. How did I know that? You remember when we did the ASCII elements, the ordinal value, when we did strings? Our lowercase a is about 97, uppercase A is about 60 something. So when we do the sorting, it will do that. How to confirm ordinal of A? That is 97. That's 65. So 97 is larger than 65. So that the ordering will be based on the ASCII value, which is also, let's say, agrees with the alphabetical order, because I have lowercase a is 97, lowercase b is 98, lowercase c is not, it's ascending. Okay. All right. So good question. Okay, so we have greetings. I'll do greetings the way it was. And I have greetings dot sort, right? And notice it was empty parentheses. Means it's a default. To modify it, I will change the parameter. My assumption will be descending. My assumption, I could be wrong. I'm wrong. So how to do that? Help. All right. Help, and I put the command. So let's see. Repair method, keywords, arguments. Help a non-type object on non-type object. Okay. Help sort, for example. So how to do that? That's a good question. But the method, I don't know the keyword. So sorting a list and descending order. So the keyword reverse. Reverse equal true. Again, I told you my assumption was wrong, but so here. So I have there aloha, bonjour, hello, hi, hola. Hola, hi, hello, bonjour, aloha.
Because you.
And the reverse order. So that's in descending order.
Why equal to why?
Reverse equal true. So the default for reverse was false. Reverse equal true means that I want to reverse.
Back to the original.
I want to reverse the operation. Initially it was ascending order. Now it's descending order. Okay. Let's see. So that's it about sorting. Just an important thing, sorting does not return value. It will sort the original list the way it is. All right, mutator methods and the value none. That's what we just talked about when we deal with sorting. It's a mutator method, means that I modified the list itself and it did not return any value. All of the functions and methods examined in previous chapters return a value. Then the caller can use the to complete its work. So we did insert, append, extend, pop, and sort. So though it did mention that they did not return any new values, but they did actually. Like when we did the pop, it returned the value and we stored the value. New list equal a list dot sort. We've seen that the new list was none. So the variable is created, but it's nothing. There's nothing in there. Aliasing, and that's what we talked about in a few minutes. I want to make a copy of the list. But when we did a copy of the list, like A equal B, a list equal B, a list named B, and I said A equal B. I want to create a list that has the same value, same content, but with a different variable name. So I have A and B. The issue there, I did not create a new list. I created a new alias. New alias means what? I have two variable names. They point at the same location at the memory, like the picture there. So that's a list there called first, and the contents are 10, 99, 30. Then I said second equal first. And both of them will lead to the same content, and in fact they lead to the same list. So when we change an element in the first list, so first of one equal 99, the second one will be affected, and that's what we call aliasing. That I did not create a new list, I created a new alias. How to solve that? We use a command called copy. So third equal first dot copy. And it's exactly the same operation, but in this case, I created a new list.
A copy of the new.
A copy of a new list. So I have, in this case, I have two lists. Previously, I did not create a new list. It is the same list, but I create a new alias. And this one, I created a new list called third. So when I change variables there, I don't have to worry about the other lists. It will only affect my current list. All right, how to do that? Dot copy with no arguments. So that leads us to the concepts of object identity and structural identity. Now, by the way, this is one of the common mistakes people fall in, and when they do programming, that they think that when I did this equality operator, I created a new variable, my original variables are safe. No, in Python is different. And I believe that's only in Python. I never dealt with, say, Java. I never have issues with that. MATLAB never have issues with that. Only Python. Okay, so in that case, programmers might need to see whether these two variables refer to the exact same object. Because when you do the equality sign, it will be the same. What I mean by that, so let me follow the same example here. I have first, I'll do it here. First equal 50, 100, 150. Second equal first, and third equal first dot copy. So I have three lists, A, B, and C.
You made the alias?
And I made an alias second, and I made a copy third. But for the programmer point of view, I want to check, are the aliases? So if you want to check first equal second, it will return true. But equal third, no, it will also be true, but it will examine the values. It will examine the values. No, even first. So first and third and second, they are all the same in terms of values. But how to check if they are the same or not? We will not use the equality operator. We'll use is. First is second, true. But
Second is
first is third, false. Nah, because they're not the same object. They are not aliases. They are not like this. This is like this example. So first and second, they are the same. First is second,
But first is not the same as third.
but third is different. Third is not
you have to
second or first. So that means first and second, when we use is, if the value is true, then they are aliases. First is second, they are aliases. But first is third, they are not the same. It's false, then they are not the same. They are two different lists. So that's a way for the programmer to confirm whether these variables are aliases or not using the is command. It's just basically asking the question, is this list the same as this list? Are they the same? If they are aliases, true. If they are not aliases, false.
for equal checks for the
Values, equal check for values. And the values are the same. So the equality operator here did not do good. But the is operator did the purpose of finding aliases from the non-alias values. Okay, so we were so the programmers need to see whether the two variables refer to the exact same object or different objects. You might want to determine whether one variable is an alias for another. The equality operator returns true if the variables or aliases are the same object. Unfortunately, it will return true if the contents of the two different objects are the same. So check for values only. So the first relation is called object identity. They locate for the first object. Structural equivalence is a bit different. That are they the same list or not? So that will tell the difference. So in this case, we do not use the equality operator. We will use the is command. First is second, true, first is third, that returned false. Last data type we will be dealing with is tuples. Tuples pretty much like lists, exactly the same structure, same thing, but you don't have a lot of operators there. Like maybe length, you can access the length, but there is no insert, append, pop, and so on. You don't have no sorting and so on. You don't have these mutator elements. A tuple is what we call a solid variable. You cannot modify it. Some applications, like the size of an image, you want the size of an image to be fixed, and the result will be tuple in that case. So fruits equal apple and banana. In this case, it's a tuple. And the only difference that lists are square brackets. Here we have parentheses for tuples. Meats, fish, poultry, and so on. So you can append them, but you cannot change any their contents. Let's have a quick example there, then we will go to the summary and finish the lecture. So I will use greetings. I'll use the same command for greetings there, but I will use parentheses instead of square brackets. It will be executed, but notice the data type is tuple. And let's do sorted. Greetings dot sort. It failed. Sorting, it will mutate the contents and sort them in based on their alphabetical order. It will fail here. Why? Because tuple. It's not. You cannot modify anything. If it was a list, everything will be fine. Pop. It will fail. Insert. One, whatever. Tuple. That's it. You cannot do anything. Tuples are just fixed. What happened? Tuple. Nothing will work there except for length. Len of greetings. Then yeah, you are fine. You don't have methods to affect the tuple. Okay, from current slide. Okay, celery beans and So in summary, a list is a sequence of 0 or more elements. You can start with an empty list and probably do appending, like the example I just showed you in my research. It can be manipulated. That's why they call it mutable data, mutable variable. Can be manipulated with subscript, concatenation, comparison, and N operators. Mutable data structure. Index returns the position of an element in that list. Elements can be arranged in order using sort. Mutator methods like the sort does not return value, so they return the none type. Assignment of variable to another one causes both to refer to the same data type, and that's what we call aliasing. And the last thing, a tuple is similar to a list, but it is immutable. You cannot change it. You cannot change the contents of that list. But that's it for this lecture. So I'll stop sharing and I'll stop the recording. Okay.